Well, here we are. I guess this might be my first build video, other than that grill. So, what do we have here? Well, this is a motor for my Mazdaspeed 3, K1 rods, Wiseco pistons, everything else OEM head studs, or head bolts in this case, main studs, main bolts, those are OEM also. I'm really only shooting for 375 to 420, kind of in that range. I want a 400 plus tune for kind of like a kill tune, maybe highway pulls or on the track if someone's really giving me a hard time. But other than that, I'm probably going to even just run within stock fuel, maybe a little bit of PI on track just to help cool things down and just bring power up a little. But yeah, about the motor used, it's got about 30,000 kilometers on it, or maybe just under. Bearings from the underside, they look fantastic. Everything's so clean under there. The head, the valves are the only things that are a little bit dirty, and you can tell the motor ran, and he didn't run it with any kind of port fuel or anything. So you can see in there, the camera's not picking up nothing, but the valves are, oh, there you go. The valves have definitely been used. This motor's definitely ran and been driven, and they're all equally kind of caked up. So, I mean, as it goes. But yeah, what we're going to do today is we're going to take the head off. We're going to take the valve cover off. We're going to take the cams out. We're going to take all the timing side apart. We're going to take everything off. We're going to take everything apart because I want to swap the valve springs. Big thing for me is the Crowder valve springs, which I've got here. And that's going to give us up to 7,800 RPM. Me personally, I want to run it at probably 74, 75, just, you know, for stay kind of a little bit on the safer side. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Other than that, the motor's ready to be installed after the springs are done. We're gonna clean the valves up too. That's probably gonna take forever. And the trickiest part, honestly, is probably gonna be keeping track of where everything came from, like the cam caps and the buckets, and making sure they go back where they came out. Because this engine is relatively fresh, I don't want to have to lash the valves again and go over the head again. It's a lot of work for, yeah, no reason pretty much, because we shouldn't have to do that. But anyways, so let's begin teardown. So all the accessories are off, alternator, all the pulleys and idlers and all that. So next thing, this is gonna suck. I've got a flywheel bolt in there, and I've got to try and get the crank off. So I'm gonna try with the breaker bar by myself, holding this over here with one hand. If that doesn't work, we'll grab the impact and we'll crank it off. But yeah, I guess we're gonna see. Okay. So I did something a little different to get the crank out because my impact gun wasn't having it, and I couldn't find a flywheel bolt or any bolt that would fit. I was about to go home and get the electric impact, but Pat came up with the genius idea. Why don't you just stop it by the weights? I mean, that's how the timing tool works. Just, you know, wedge something in there. And I did. I wedged this socket in there. And once the crank was held, it really didn't take much force. I mean, I broke the bolt free pretty easy with the breaker bar here. It didn't really require that much force, and when I went to take the extension out, it was, you know, just barely in there. It came out, so that's good. I know I didn't damage anything. Everything looks minty here, so I got this fucking thing. So let's continue the disassembly. Got to get a new one of these because these are torque to yield, I believe, so that's going in the garbo. Hang on to it for now, just in case. But yeah, chances are this thing's gonna get thrown out. And yeah, anyways, I'm gonna put the pan back on just to keep things down here tidy. I already took these bolts out. The pan can stay on, I believe. Maybe I'll leave it off for now. I don't know. I don't know if it matters even. We'll figure it out. Let's carry on. All right, well, I've got the timing all exposed. And keep in mind, this is my first time ever looking at this shit all assembled like this. And when you buy a motor like I did last year and it's all in pieces and you don't know where any of this stuff goes, it's a little overwhelming. But now that I see it all assembled here, it's pretty simple actually. There isn't much witchcraft or wizardry involved. I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff. So anyways, we got to remove the tensioner, and then I don't even know if we need to remove the guides. The chain should just pretty much fall off at that point. Is there any slack in this? Oof, she's tight. Someone built this proper. All right, well, let's carry on with the disassembly, shall we? Okay, timing stuff is off. It's pretty simple. I think we're gonna leave it like this. Next thing is gonna be the cam caps, and they are labeled, which is cool. It's hard to see on camera, but E2, E1, E3, so that's exhaust, and then which cap it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counting from the timing side being 1. And the intakes are also labeled, so that's beautiful. We don't have to worry about mixing these up. What I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that they're all in Ziploc bags, labeled, you know, cam caps. The buckets underneath, that's going to be a different story. We're going to have a time with those, I think. I also think I need to take all of this stuff off, high pressure fuel pump. So maybe I'll do that next, and then we'll move into the cam caps, because high pressure fuel pump, I'm kind of familiar with taking it all apart already, so shouldn't be terrible, I want to say. 2 bolts at the top there, that one there. Pull the hard line, which is, yeah, it is still connected to the fuel rail, so take the hard line off there, and that's it. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. Well, that was nothing crazy, not too involved there. A little tiny bit of wear on that, but nothing major, nothing we're worried about. Okay, so I'm gonna clean these off, get the oil off. That way when I take them off, I can put some tape, keep all the bolts with the caps. This might take a little longer, but we'll just go slow with the impact, just slowly loosen them off. Keep the tension even across the cam, and what we'll do is we'll take the 2 middle ones out first, then we'll do the furthest one. I guess we'll kind of just slowly loosen them like that to make sure we don't crack a cam or something. Should be fine. I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, so we got the injectors out. It looks like number, what is this, 1, 4? Leaked. Clean. This motor had Toyota injector seals, which are apparently supposed to be good, but I don't even know if it's still there. Disintegrated or something. But yeah, this guy definitely seen some shit. For sure. Some heat, some leakage, some loss of compression maybe. This guy is a little bit cruddy also. This came out of cylinder 3, so that's not to be completely unexpected, but overall, the rest of the injectors look pretty clean. His little Toyota seals maybe did something. I don't know. They're coming off. We're putting overspeed or CS seals anyways. But anyways, the next thing we're going to do is pull the head. I don't have a big enough socket with the T55, or what size is this thing? Doesn't say on the bit, but it is the correct size for the head bolts. This is OEM head bolts. So yeah, we don't have a big enough socket for the breaker bar, so we're kind of doing it, you know, ghetto styles like this. It worked fine. I already broke one loose, but yeah, I guess we will get the time lapse going. We'll take them all out and we'll make sure there's nothing else that needs to come off. Maybe we'll take off the coolant and EGR crap here. Yeah, and then it'll be easy. I mean, maybe I'll leave that on, gives you something to hang on to. I don't know, we can decide later if we want to take that off or not. But yeah, okay, let's get to it. Okay, well, here we are. Head is off. Looks like our head gasket is all good. I don't see anything pushing past. Yeah, I don't know, it looks good to me. Okay, well, we have got the head off. And we're just taking a look into the cylinders here. And it looks pretty good. I mean, you can see the cross-hatching, geez, pretty much perfectly. There's some carbon and gunk and stuff in there, and I'm gonna try and get that out quickly right now, just so it looks a little nicer on camera. This thing's gonna get a serious cleaning before it goes back together, that is for certain. But anyways, so there's a little bit of scoring here on the edge, but it doesn't catch the fingernail pretty much at all. But these are the Wiseco 2618 pistons. So these guys, they expand quite a bit, and so they're clearanced for that. So there's going to be some piston slap. I'm kind of already expecting that, but overall, it looks like we're in pretty decent shape in here, I want to say. I mean, we won't know until we fire it up and we get some heat into it and some boost and we actually drive this thing. But in terms of visual inspection, cross-hatching looks good. None of this scoring. There's nothing. Oh, there's a little on the back too, eh? That must be from cold start piston slap. Definitely not a motor that's going to last forever, but when you use the Wisecos, or really any 2618 pistons, they don't last. They're not, it's not built to be a 100,000 mile motor, maybe 70,000 miles, which is still plenty. That's like, you know, 130,000 kilometers, Canadian kilometers. So for me, it's going to last quite some time, probably at least 5 seasons, I want to say. If we, you know, average maybe 30,000 a season, we might be a little bit high, but it's definitely not bad. So anyways, here we are. A little bit of piston slap at the bottom and at the top. This was kind of common in SRT4s, neons. This is not something that you didn't see often on those platforms, let me tell you. Coming from that background, I know quite well, but anyways.